Do you ever get the sense that everything you're seeing now has happened before? That this isn't the first time you've lived this, and it won't be the last? For many people, this conjures ideas of the soul, which arises in virtually every religion and culture in the world. When we talk about the soul, we're looking at the true essence of who you are, all the things that make you, you. According to numerology, each of us is an eternal soul, and when our bodies come to an end, our soul continues. The basic idea is that the soul is trapped in a continuous cycle of rebirth. And the only way to free ourselves from this cycle is to understand the lessons that we've been brought here to learn. Pythagoras called this idea the transmigration of souls. The thing is, if we don't learn our lessons, then we're doomed to face the same difficulties over and over again until we do. This is something we can't ignore, because much of the pain and suffering we experience comes from trying to avoid our life lessons. So what does this mean for you? It means that in numerology, the central lesson that you're here to learn is found in what's called the life path number. And understanding your life path is critical to finding spiritual fulfillment and meaning in this lifetime. So how do you figure out your life path number? Here's how. We start out by writing the digits in your birth date. For example, let's say you're born on January 22nd, 1998. You'd write out the digits like this. January is a 1 because it's the first month of the year, followed by the 22nd day in the year 1998. Then we add all of these digits together, and when we do that, we get the number 32. In numerology, whenever we have a number that's more than one digit, we add each of the digits together until there's only one digit left. This process is called reducing the numbers. The only exception to the rule of reducing is if you get the numbers 11, 22, or 33. These are called master numbers, and they have their own special meanings in numerology, which we'll explore in more detail. But in this case, to reduce the number 32, we add its digits 3 and 2 together, which equals 5. And so if you're born on January 22nd, 1998, you have a 5 life path. There are 12 life path numbers in total, and each life path vibrates at its own unique frequency, and each has its own unique meaning. Each number also has its own strengths and weaknesses that must be overcome. It's important to recognize that there are no intrinsically good or bad life path numbers. At any given time, you can be living on the positive side or the negative side of your numbers. But it's only when you become aware of these elements that you can begin to live in a more intentional and purposeful way. Now that you know how to calculate your life path number, let's go into what each of the life path numbers mean. 1 is the vibration of beginnings, individuality, and ambition. If you're a 1 life path, you're a natural pioneer. You're destined to blaze your own trail. You have strong leadership instincts. You're fiercely independent and you're competitive by nature, and you're happiest when you're striving to be the best you can be. Your path is to accomplish as much as you can, at the highest levels you can. But the central challenge of your life is to do this in a way that balances your relationships with your work. In your career, you tend to do your best work when you have the flexibility to work independently, on your own terms. And when you really set your mind on a goal, you almost always achieve it. You're also a natural collector. Whether it's precious objects or memories from the past, you have many treasures hidden away. And you're also often the first to recognize something new and important. In many ways, you're the early adopter and tastemaker. On the other hand, you often feel the need to try to do everything yourself. It can be hard for you to trust others with the important work that you'd much rather do yourself. This makes you very self-reliant, but it can also be very draining, both physically and emotionally. You have to learn to delegate more of your work to other people. You also have a tendency to start new projects and take new directions in life before you've finished the things you've already started. It's important to break free from this pattern because if you don't, you'll end up wasting a lot of time and energy, especially in the early stages of your career, and you'll allow other people to reap all the rewards of your hard work. A good example of a one life path is Steve Jobs, who was born on February 24th, 1955. He was, of course, best known as the Chief Executive Officer of Apple and the chairman of Pixar Animation Studios. He was notoriously competitive and driven, and he's widely recognized with helping to revive Apple, which had been on the verge of bankruptcy. 2 is the vibration of cooperation, diplomacy, and relationships. As a 2 life path, you have excellent interpersonal skills. You're sharp, articulate, and very good with words, and you have an amazing ability to make people feel comfortable and appreciated. Your path is to build strong relationships and to give leadership in a way that makes people feel valued and understood. In your career, you're often the glue that holds everything together. You have the ability to motivate and encourage people to work towards a common vision. You intuitively understand both sides of an issue, and this makes you very good at resolving conflict. You're also very grounded and practical in your approach to life. You don't like to waste time or money. You're solid and stable, which helps you handle deadlines and pressure much better than most people can, even in tough, unfamiliar situations. On the other hand, you also have a tendency to push down your emotions. At times, you can find yourself hiding your true feelings to keep the peace. You have to recognize that some level of conflict in life is unavoidable. Interestingly, the same qualities that make you such a good listener and a good friend can also cause you to take on negative emotions from other people, making you feel drained and exhausted. One of your biggest challenges is to learn that neglecting your own needs in order to please other people isn't sustainable in the long run. At some point, you have to learn to draw your boundaries. A good example of a 2 life path is Danish author Hans Christian Andersen, who was born on April 2nd, 1805. He was a prolific writer known for his fairy tales, which have embedded themselves into our collective consciousness. Stories like The Little Mermaid, The Emperor's New Clothes, and The Nightingale. 3 is the vibration of self-expression and creativity. If you're a 3 life path, you have a very developed imagination and sense of play, which you'll keep well into your older years. You're a natural storyteller. You do well in creative areas like photography, design, fashion, writing, and music. Your path is to find ways to translate your creative impulses into action and to express yourself authentically. You do best in environments where you have the freedom and latitude to speak your truth and to communicate your ideas openly. You also have a very analytical mind, which gives you the ability to understand the details without losing sight of the bigger picture. On the other hand, although you tend to work harder than most of the people around you, you have to recognize that you don't actually have to hustle every working hour of the day to be successful, even if you're naturally wired that way. You have to recognize that it's not always the hours that you put in that leads to success. It's just as important to take breaks and to let your unconscious mind do its work in the background and to make those creative connections that are so important to your progress. The other thing to watch out for is you can be prone to feelings of frustration and cynicism when things don't turn out the way you expect. You have to be careful not to squander your gifts by scattering your time and energy on people who drain you, which can distract you from your goals. Focus and consistency will be the keys to your success. A good example of a 3 life path is Oscar Award-winning actor Judy Garland, who was born on June 10th, 1922. She's probably best known for starring in the film The Wizard of Oz and is widely considered to be one of the most creative and dynamic actors of her era. 4 is the vibration of stability, structure, and practicality. As a 4 life path, you're thorough and deliberate. You have a keen intelligence that enables you to make careful decisions after taking the time to think through your options. This gives you a natural common sense approach to solving problems. In your career, you'll often find yourself doing the really important work that builds a strong foundation for others, making it possible for them to thrive and to pursue their own ends. When you're fully engaged in your work, you're patient, determined, and you have a fine eye for detail. Your path is to do meaningful work that has a real and positive impact on the world. You have a lively sense of humor, a quick wit, and an excellent memory. This gives you a talent for communicating complex ideas. You also have strong moral values and a highly developed sense of justice and fair play. You're a loyal friend, but sometimes to a fault. One of your challenges is that sometimes you can find yourself doing the important but thankless work that other people take for granted. You would benefit from taking more calculated risks and being more flexible in the way that you approach your goals. You're much stronger and more powerful than you realize. A good example of a 4 life path is American television producer, talk show host, and philanthropist Oprah Winfrey. She was born on January 29, 1954, in poverty to a teenage single mother in rural Mississippi. But by the year 2015, she was named North America's first African-American billionaire. 5 is the vibration of freedom, spontaneity, and exploration. As someone with a 5 life path, you're drawn to travel, adventure, and variety. You have a talent for multitasking, and you're drawn to work where you can be involved in several different projects at the same time. More than any other life path, you have the ability to live in the now and to immerse yourself in the present moment as it's unfolding. This gives you a restless energy, but it also makes you very adaptable. Your path is to find ways to channel your natural sense of adventure into doing real, meaningful, and fulfilling work. At the same time, you also have a curious mind with a broad base of interests. You think outside the box. You're a seeker of knowledge and wisdom, and you have excellent critical thinking abilities. You also have a strong sense of right and wrong, and you strive always to do the right thing. On the other hand, you can also be prone to self-doubt. At times, you can have a tendency to be impulsive, and you can find yourself making choices that can harm your own personal growth in the long run. You have so many varied interests and talents, which is a blessing, but it can also make it hard for you to focus on one area. Discipline and consistency will be the keys to your success. A good example of a 5 life path is Abraham Lincoln, who was born on February 12, 1809. He grew up in poverty in a log cabin in Kentucky. He's of course best known for leading America through one of the most challenging periods in its history and winning the war against the southern states for the emancipation of slaves. As the 16th President of the United States, he's widely considered to be one of the greatest leaders in history. 6 is the vibration of family and home. As a 6 life path, you're a natural nurturer, and you take care of the people in your life. You have a gift for bringing people together and maintaining social harmony. You're also good at giving comfort and emotional support to the people you care about. You're also very charismatic. You have a kind and patient nature that makes you very good at dealing with conflict and drama. Overall, you're a strong person of tremendous substance, and you have the strength to weather the difficult storms of life, even when you don't think you can. You would do well in many different careers, but you'd be especially good as a counselor or therapist because it's in your nature to help ease the burdens of others. Your path is to cultivate your natural talents in order to help others with the support that they need to be their best selves. On the other hand, you can also find yourself becoming overwhelmed with other people's problems. Sometimes you can be too giving and overly generous to a fault. One of your challenges is to learn to fill your own cup and to stop giving so much to people who don't appreciate you. A good example of a 6 life path is English poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning, who was born on March 6, 1806. As the oldest of 12 children, she started writing poems at the age of 11. Her work would influence many authors, including Edgar Allan Poe and Emily Dickinson. She also campaigned for abolishing slavery and for reforms in child labor laws. 7 is the vibration of knowledge and contemplation. As a 7 life path, you look for wisdom and spiritual understanding. You're a natural mentor and teacher. Because of this, you're curious about the world, and you have the rare ability to step back from your situation and to analyze it as it's happening. Your path is to share your insights and experiences with the world, and especially with those struggling to find guidance in their own lives. You're called upon to transcend human limitations and to connect with your highest self. It's also in your nature to take on responsibility, and you often find yourself filling the void that's left by others. In many ways, you're a perfectionist. You have a clear idea of what you like and what you don't like, both in your personal life and in your career. Because of this, you have exacting standards and you're very thorough. On the other hand, you can feel burdened by the problems that other people put on you. One of your challenges is that sometimes you have a tendency to withdraw and to isolate yourself from the people you care about. Many of your most difficult lessons were learned through experience, which at many points in your life, you found to be the best teacher. It's important that you look for ways to be independent while still being connected with the people you love. You have tremendous opportunities for growth and success, but the key to that success will be maintaining balance. A good example of a 7 life path is Princess Diana, who was born on July 1st, 1961. She was, of course, the mother of Prince William and Prince Harry of the British royal family. But she was also well known for her natural charisma and her extensive charity work, which included a wide range of activities, from her work with the elderly to her work with campaigning for removing landmines. 8 is the vibration of accomplishment, abundance, and material success. Your path is to apply all your talents and intelligence to solving real-world problems. You have a natural understanding of the material world, and you have the ability to inspire others into action and to direct them to a common vision. More than any other life path, you attract financial success into your life, but you have to put in the work, and you have to seize the opportunities as you see them. You also have an effortless sense of style and grace, and you have a powerfully vivid imagination that fuels your creative talent. But at the same time, it can also feed your worries and anxieties. One of your challenges is to fight the tendency to become impatient and overbearing. If you don't address this, it can damage your relationships, and it can lead to isolation and conflict. Many people with an 8 life path will experience major financial difficulties in their life, which can lead to debt or even bankruptcy. But at the same time, they also have the talent and ability to make more than one fortune and to build more than one successful organization. And although you can be very expressive when you choose to be, you tend to internalize your feelings and emotions. In many ways, much of what you hold inside is invisible to other people. It's hard for people to see and understand the real you, and so it's critical for you to cultivate balance in your life and to listen to the hints and nudges that come to you from within. A good example of an 8 life path is Canadian musician Joni Mitchell, who was born on November 7th, 1943. Although her personal and romantic life has been turbulent and difficult, she's had enormous critical and commercial success in her career. In 1997, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she's widely considered to be one of the greatest songwriters of all time. 9 is the vibration of completion and humanitarianism. As a 9 life path, you're deeply compassionate and idealistic. You empathize with others and you're attuned to other people's suffering. You naturally look for opportunities to help people, and you stand up against unfairness when you see it. Your path is to harness your talents and energies into making a real social impact on as many people as you can. You're also a deep thinker, and you have a powerful mind that naturally questions the world around you. You thrive on knowledge and information, and you soak up wisdom and experience like a sponge. On the other hand, you've often felt misunderstood in the past, which has made you feel like an outsider. Sometimes it can feel like you're an observer in your own life. This also gives you a tendency to dwell on the past. Dealing with endings is especially hard for you. Whether it's leaving a job, ending a relationship, or closing a phase of life. And because you're idealistic at heart, you can also find yourself being disappointed by the harsh realities and imperfections in the world. It's rare for the 9 life path to find themselves in positions of leadership, but when they do, they're often transformative. They make the best and most effective leaders. More than any other life path, you have the ability to inspire and motivate through example, from a place of authenticity and with an open heart. Mahatma Gandhi, born on October 2nd, 1869, is a good example of a 9 life path. He was educated in England as a lawyer, but he's best known for leading a campaign of nonviolent passive resistance in India. His work would influence many other leaders for civil rights, including Martin Luther King Jr. and James Lawson. And now we come to the master numbers, which represent rare and important vibrations in numerology. If your life path number is 11, 22, or 33, then you have a master number life path. Master numbers are considered to be higher vibrations, and because of this, those with master numbers have heightened intuitive and spiritual gifts which set them apart from most other people. As with many gifted people, this can lead to feelings of isolation, especially as children, but they also have a higher capacity to leave lasting and positive impacts on the world. Although these numbers are among the most promising of all life path numbers, they're also the hardest to live up to. "11 is the vibration of invention and idealism. If you're an 11 life path, you're a natural visionary, and you can see much further than others. More than any other life path, you can bridge your conscious and unconscious mind, which gives you access to higher level knowledge and foresight. But this is often a double-edged sword, because it means that you might not always get the recognition you deserve. For many 11 life paths, they're never fully appreciated in their lifetime. You also have a high degree of social awareness. In your career, you do best as a leader, but if necessary, you can also take on a supportive role in order to get the job done. You're especially good at finding the gaps that exist in the world and identifying areas where needs aren't being met. This enables you to truly innovate and to make the world a better place by filling those gaps. You also have a great deal of intuition, which gives you access to tremendous insight, but it can also lead to emotional turmoil. You have a tendency to feel frustrated and dejected if you fall short of your own high expectations for yourself. You also run the risk of losing your sense of direction and purpose, especially when you're second-guessing your decisions or ignoring your intuition. It can also be hard for you to find truly close friends and people who really understand you. Barack Obama, born on August 4th, 1961, is a good example of an 11 life path. As the first African-American president of the United States, he was instrumental in implementing the Affordable Health Care Act. 22 is the vibration of the architect. It's often referred to as the master builder number. As a 22 life path, you have the ability to not only envision new possibilities, but also manifest those possibilities in the real world. Your path is to harness your talents to help move humanity forward. This means being practical in the way that you deal with people, while at the same time maintaining your vision for real positive change. This is not an easy balance to achieve, but you have the rare practical wisdom and common sense that makes it very possible. You also have an excellent way with words and an uncanny ability to motivate other people. In your career, you would do very well in entrepreneurship, law, politics, or any area where you can apply your high-level communication skills and understanding of people. On the other hand, one of your challenges is that you can be very critical of yourself, and you can find yourself doubting your own abilities, which can throw off all sense of balance in your life. If you don't get a good handle on this, it can lead to isolation, and it can also undermine your relationships. Leonardo da Vinci, born on April 15th, 1452, is a good example of a 22 life path. He's perhaps best known for his painting The Mona Lisa, but he was also a prolific inventor, and he made extensive notes on many subjects, including anatomy, map making, and paleontology. Although he had no formal education, he's widely considered as a prime example of the universal genius and one of the most diversely talented people who ever lived. 33 is the vibration of spiritual service. As a 33 life path, your path is to give guidance and support to others. And for that reason, this path is often called the Master Teacher. You have strong musical and artistic abilities. You also have a tremendous level of compassion, and you often seek out situations where you can be of service to other people. And within your social circle, you're the sympathetic ear that people come to for advice and support. You're also a sharp and strategic thinker, and you excel at work that involves great concentration and practical insight. You're also likely to be a late bloomer, and it often takes you longer to really come into your own and to find a path that resonates with you. But when you do eventually find your path, you often end up accomplishing far more than many of your peers. On the other hand, you can often find yourself sacrificing your own personal needs for other people. Sometimes you can become overly involved in other people's lives, even if it holds you back and takes you away from your own progress. One of the biggest challenges for you is to find a balance between offering support and advice that others need, while at the same time giving them the space and freedom to pursue their own path, even if it means letting them make their own mistakes and learning these difficult lessons on their own. Albert Einstein, who was born on March 14, 1879, is a good example of a 33 life path. His theory of relativity revolutionized physics and led to many new discoveries. In his lifetime, he published more than 300 scientific papers, and he's widely regarded as one of the most brilliant scientific minds in history. We live in a society that's noisier and more distracting than it's ever been. And what that means is that understanding your life path is more important than ever. When you're living in alignment with your life purpose, there's a powerful sense of freedom and authenticity that comes from living a more intentional life. At the same time, it's important to remember that your life path number is only one element in your overall numerology profile. There are many other pieces that make up your complete numerology chart. And one of the goals of this channel is to give you the tools you need to understand what they are. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It really helps me get my work out there, and it helps me to bring more content like this to you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really, truly appreciate it. Take care of yourself, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you in the next video.